welcome to Timescape ImageWorks. This time we have another hands-on science experiment for you. We will be showing you how to play with molecules and understand density. The scientific method, it's so easy. The scientific method, it goes 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6. Molecules are two or more atoms that have come together. How close the molecules are to each other is called density. Density is like the address of molecules. When they're close together, they are very dense, and that makes them hard to fit through. So we call that a solid. As the molecules spread out and start to wobble around, they are less dense. Now it's possible to fit through them with some effort, and this is called a liquid. As the molecules move even further out, where they are barely near each other, they are the least dense, and that is called a gas. Take the marbles, which are our atom and molecule models, put them all together to make them as dense as you can, and that makes a solid. By spreading them out until they are loose and less dense, and then you've created a model of a liquid. And finally, spread them out really far apart, where they're hardly dense at all, and you have a model of gas. You can see all three states of matter with a jar of water. If you have the solid making up the container, then you'll have the atoms and the molecules where they are the most dense, very close together. The liquid inside is the water, where the atoms and the molecules are less dense and wobble around, and above the water is gas or air, and that's the least dense of our states of matter. So with a simple jar of water, you have all three states of matter. Now, some people will say,
"Hey, wait a minute. The three states that matter are California, New York, and Texas."
No, not that type of matter, or even that type of state either. For those smart ones who say,
"There are more than three states of matter,"
that's true, but we will get into that in a different video. By using different colored marbles to equal your atoms and molecules, you can also create some of the famous simpler molecules, like H2O. Now that looks a lot like Mickey Mouse. In chemistry, the number is referring to the letter that comes before it. So, in H2O, there are two hydrogen atoms using one color, and then we'll use another color for the oxygen atom. And you put them together, you've got H2O, also known as water, or the shadow of Mickey Mouse's head. If you want to make sodium chloride, then you will only need two atoms, one color for sodium and another for chloride. Put the two atoms together, and you have sodium chloride, also known as salt. You can also use your hands as a way to do the experiment. By clasping your hands together tightly, you are making them very dense and hard to get through, so that makes them a solid. By pulling your fingers apart and making them looser, then the space is less dense, and now you can wobble your fingers around in the extra room, and that represents a liquid. And then by pulling your hands even farther apart, now you can see how loose they are, and they're barely even around each other, and that represents a gas. Hungry? Got a sweet tooth? Why not go edible science? You can also do a follow-up with creating simple molecules like water, salt, baking soda, also known as sodium bicarbonate, or hydrogen peroxide using different colored candies like M&Ms or Skittles or jelly beans or whatever works for you on your dental budget. You just take the candies and then you use the diagrams of the molecules, and you can put them in the order, having the different colors represent the different atoms. It's really fun, and when you're all done, you get to eat the science. It's great. Now, what is the science? Molecule is a word made from two words, mole and cule. The Latin word cule means very small, and mole means lump. So, cule mole, if you move them around into molecule or molecule, it means little lump, which doesn't sound as brilliant as molecule, which is probably why they put it in Latin. Molecules are always made of two or more atoms and are the building blocks of kind of everything. Density of the molecules determines the state of the molecule. The more dense the more solid, and the less dense, the less stable, turning into a liquid or a gas. Diagrams using either 2D or 3D art show how the atoms come together in order to make the molecules out of the atoms. And these are what you will use with, you can either do it with the marble still, or you can do it with the candies. The diagram for water looks like this. Salt looks like this. Baking soda, sodium bicarbonate, looks like this. Now look, can you see the sodium and the bi, which means 2 carbons? See, sodium bicarbonate. Next up, hydrogen peroxide. It looks like this. Can you see the hydrogen? Or the oxygen that makes up the oxide of peroxide? Thanks for watching. Please hit the like button and subscribe to help us keep making new hands-on experiments and science tips for you.